Fifth day. On the fifth day, they were also very happy. They remembered the beggar who was a hunchback, Quaker, and they yearned very much. How is it possible to procure that hunchback beggar here? For if he were here, the joy would be immense. In the midst of this, he arrived and said, I am here. I have come to you for the wedding. And he fell on them, hugged them, and kissed them. And he said to them, previously, I had blessed you, that you be like me. Today I present you as a wedding discourse gift, that you should be like me. And I am not a hunchback, Quaker, whatsoever. On the contrary, I have the sort of shoulders that are the little that hold the much. And I have a testament to this. For there was once a conversation in which people boasted about this matter, each one boasting that he has this feature of the little holding the much. In other words, a small space containing very much. They laughed and scoffed at one of them, and the rest who boasted about this feature of the little holding the much were accepted. But my little holds the much is greater than all of them. For one of them boasted that his brain is a little that holds the much, for he carries in his brain thousands and myriads of people with all their needs, all their customs, and all their discussions and movements. He carries all this entirely in his brain. So, he is a little that holds the much, since a bit of his brain bears on it so many people with their needs, and so forth. Therefore, he is called a little that holds the much. That is, a bit of space containing and bearing so much, namely, the bit of brain bearing so many people with all their affairs. They laughed him off, and those present there replied, You are nothing, and your people are nothing. One of them spoke up and said, I have seen such a little that holds the much. For once I was passing by before a mountain, and I saw a huge amount of garbage and filth on it. It was a novelty for me. From where does so much garbage and filth come from? Come upon the mountain. There was a man there by that mountain. The man said, It's all mine. For he was dwelling there beside the mountain, and kept throwing on the mountain his garbage and secretions from his eating and drinking, and defecated there. It was from him that there was so much garbage and feces on the mountain. So this man is a little that holds the much, insofar as much as garbage comes about from one man. That's what this is too. That is, so is the little that holds the much of the one who boasted that his brain bears so many people. One of them boasted he has the feature of the little that holds the much, since he has a bit of countryside that produces a great quantity of fruits. Afterwards, they reckon the fruit that the country has produced, and they see that the country does not in any way hold as much space as the fruits need to take up. There is not at all in the country not so much space as the fruits need to occupy. The fruits need to take up. There is not at all in the country so much space as the fruits need to occupy. Thus, this is a little that holds the much, namely a little space that holds so much. His words pleased them, for in truth This is certainly a little that holds the much. One of them said, inasmuch as he has an orchard, Pardis, a very fine one, where there are fruits and so forth, a great many people and noblemen travel there, for it is quite a nice orchard. And when summer comes, very many people and noblemen travel there to promenade there, and in reality, there in the garden there is not sufficient area capable of holding so many people. This, then, is a little that holds the much. His words too pleased them. One of them said that his speech is a little that holds the much, for he is a private secretary for a great king, and many people come to the king. One comes with praises to the king, another comes with petitions to the king, and so forth. And the king certainly cannot hear out all of this. I gather up all their words into just a few words, and tell the king just these few words, which contain all their praises and requests. And all their very words are implanted in my few words, which I tell the king. Therefore, my speech is a little, holding the much. One of them said that his keeping silent is a little that holds the much, for he has against him very many accusers and slanderers who besmirch him very much, for they fight him and talk against him very much, and to whatever they slander him, quarrel with him, and whatever they say against him, he performs one silence, and that is the solution to all the questions and all the utterances spoken against him. Hence his silence is a little, holding the much. One of them said that he is a little that holds the much, for there is a person who is well visioned. In other words, blind. It's a nice way of saying blind. And very large, whereas the one who's boasting and telling all this, is very small, and leads about the large poor one who is blind. Hence, he is a little holding the much. For the blind one could slip and fall, but he holds him up with his guidance, and due to this, he is a little that holds the much, since he is a small person and holds the big blind one.